One of the towering figures of ancient Greek philosophy, Plato was the founder of the Academy in Athens, the first institution of higher learning in the Western world. A student of the great philosopher Socrates, Plato was also the teacher of another influential figure, Aristotle. Together, these three philosophers are considered to have laid the foundations of Western philosophy and science. Plato was not only highly influential in Western science, philosophy, and mathematics, but is also said to be one of the founders of Western religion and spirituality. In addition, he is also considered the founder of Western political philosophy and one of the most influential writers in the history of philosophy. What better way to absorb some of his vast wisdom and by casually listening to his words of wisdom, which we bring to you in quote form. Love is a serious mental disease. Life must be lived as play. The madness of love is the greatest of heaven's blessings. Education is teaching our children to desire the right things. You should not honor men more than truth. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. The measure of a man is what he does with power. For a man to conquer himself is the first and noblest of all victories. The empty vessel makes the loudest sound. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. People are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. No one is a friend to his friend who does not love in return. Science is nothing but perception. Man, a being in search of meaning. Justice in the life and conduct of the state is possible only as first it resides in the hearts and souls of the citizens. Attention to health is life's greatest hindrance. To be sure I must, and therefore I may assume that your silence gives consent. The man who makes everything that leads to happiness depends upon himself and not upon other men, and has adopted the very best plan for living happily. This is the man of moderation, the man of manly character and of wisdom. Thinking the talking of the soul with itself. Knowledge becomes evil if the aim be not virtuous. Better a little which is well done than a great deal imperfectly. Courage is knowing what not to fear. The opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. The beginning is the most important part of the work. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. There are three classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future in life. Music is the movement of sound to reach the soul for the education of its virtue. Truth is the beginning of every good to the gods and of every good to man. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. Those who tell the stories rule society. The object of education is to teach us to love what is beautiful. A house that has a library in it has a soul. Necessity is the mother of invention. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Character is simply habiting long continue. Good actions give strength to ourselves and inspire good actions in others. Writing is the geometry of the soul. A hero is born among 100, a wise man is found among 1,000, but an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. The first and best victory is to conquer self. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. How can you prove whether at this moment we are sleeping and all our thoughts are a dream, or whether we are awake and talking to one another in the waking state? Bodily exercise, when compulsory, does no harm to the body, but knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like our video.